right? And we still really want lots of build diversity in Challenge. And it's really limiting it to basically people running all reds.
Yeah.
All right, skill builds, I gotta say it. You're letting me down. You're letting me down pretty bad. Now I'm gonna have to do this again. I pulled my 30 gear out of my freaking stash just to go through a level 40 challenge mission with 30 gear. Now I don't know what they're saying about only red builds can go through these missions. This is not true. And we need to stop that talk right now. This is 30 gear on a challenge mission. Now look, I understand there's some issues with the blue builds just because of the amount of damage that an enemy can do. But there is no excuse for a skill build to not be able to blow through this content. And being able to beat it with 30 gear, with 500 gear score items. Now, in this video, I'm going to be going over one of my very basic, very simple, easy to use, easy to understand skill builds so that, you know, if you are having problems with this game, if you are having some problems with, you know, hard missions or challenge missions, you'll be able to just blow past this stuff. Now, I'm not even getting into heroic or legendaries here. I've tested this stuff out, and it does a pretty good job. But that's not the point of this build. That is not the aim of this build. The point of this build is to be your daily grinder. This is to, you know, get you through all those challenge missions nice and quick so you can get the loot. Now, using the technician again, and that's for that 10% skill damage. Now, obviously, you see I've got 6 yellows already, so I don't really need the bonus from the technician. I haven't gotten a good blue with 2 yellows yet, so I haven't changed my build up. So starting off, I've got the MG5 with just average rolls. It's got spike on it though, and that gives me 20% skill damage whenever I get a headshot. Moving on to my black market AKM, again, average rolls. It has spike on it, again, for that 20% skill damage whenever I get a headshot. Now my Storm has perpetuation on it, just in case I ever need to actually use a status effect skill. Alright, moving on to my mask, it is a China Light. You can see here, it's got really good skill damage, everything else is just average. Alright, one of my dangerous items here, Wyvern Wear with Glass Cannon. Obviously you can see the attributes, they're nothing special, just regular average rolls. But Glass Cannon, 25% damage for all damage, but I also take 50% damage. Moving into my holster, it is a Hana Yu for that skill haste. And I've got, you know, skill damage, and you can see the status effects there is pretty nice, but obviously I'm not using that for this build. I got my Wyvern Wear knee pads for the second piece, so the status effect skill damage. That's got skill damage and haste on it. You see my China Light gloves, again, skill damage, and I got some skill repair on there, not really necessary for this build. And then, of course, my backpack, which is the Force Multiplier Hana Yu, and that has, you know, skill damage, skill haste, and I've got headshot damage on there because obviously I'm going to be doing a lot of headshots. But perfect combined arms. Basically, whenever I'm shooting an enemy, my skills are doing 30% extra damage for 3 seconds. So, you know, for all those people who say, well, skill users aren't using their guns, skill users are just hiding in cover, no. This build is completely designed around shooting the enemy and getting headshots. Constantly. Alright, so looking at my drone, you can see here, I'm doing 61 damage. That's just the base damage, without any bonuses applied to it. So when I actually start proccing everything, that damage becomes huge. Alright, and then when you look at my assault turret, again, it's pumping out 99k. When you start proccing in Glass Cannon, combined arms, spike, I'm doing massive amounts of damage with these skills. If you're having a hard time and you are used to your, the Seeker crutch from, TU8, well, these skills can be used on, hard or challenging, and, with very little interaction of you actually shooting the enemy. If you need that, type of assistance. If you actually want to get through it faster, you can proc all this stuff all day long and just decimate the enemy. I mean, you can blow through heavies on challenge, solo. I didn't even notice that guy was a heavy until actually I saw his body. I wasn't even paying attention. I killed him, and I was just like, wow, okay, blowing through him. All right, couple things I want to mention here. If you do not have the perfect combined arms, you can use other talents. Okay, perfect tech support is a great example. 25% damage for 27 seconds whenever you get a kill. Regular tech support is just as good. Perfect shock and awe. If you apply a status effect, you can use grenades for that. You increase your damage by 20% with skills. You also increase your repair if you need that too. And look, I understand if you don't want to use Glass Cannon because you just take too much damage and you can't do it, there are other options. I would go with kinetic momentum, especially with this kind of build, because your skills are going to be up for like 2 or 3 minutes. So that is, great. If you're having problems with your skills getting destroyed from, the heavies, tamper-proof is also a good skill, but will cut down on your damage. And let's just say you don't have any of these talents, you don't have any of this gear, your rolls are pretty terrible. You can always use a 4-piece hardwired, and that'll help mitigate some of your loss for actual damage purposes. And now it's not going to be as strong, as hard hitting as this, but it will still be a pretty decent damage build. Now, another option for you guys, if you still don't like those options, you can replace your 2 skills and use a shield and mortar turret combination. Now, obviously that means you have to choose the demolitionist specialization, but this combination of tank and bomb works extremely well. That is one of the main builds that I actually used while I was beating the 31 to 40 campaign and still using 30 gear. So, you know, again, no excuses on this front. If you guys need to be tankier and you want to be more, you know, like in front of the combat, this is a great option. If you want to be more of a manipulator of combat and basically, you know, task your drone and your turret to take out certain targets, that other combination works extremely well. Alright guys, that'll do it for me. I hope we end this skill failure embarrassment, but let's start getting out there. Let's beat these challenge missions. Let's solo these challenge missions. Heck, you'll probably even be able to do heroics if you're patient enough. And you know what? I've proven it. You do not need the best gear or the best rolls to be able to do this stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.